Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, yeah, I know, I'm late with this one. Definitely very late. I got busy. I finished the Wonder Woman Mezco 1/12 video, posted it on Saturday, and then Saturday kind of became its own thing. I had plans and stuff like that, so I didn't want to work anymore on Saturday, and that was the day I was going to try and get this recorded by. And then Sunday kind of became its own thing. I planned on recording this video on Sunday. Came down, gonna record it. Oh, the desk is a mess. I should clean up. Started cleaning up, started putting figures on different shelves around the house. Then my dog had to pee, and I went out to the backyard, and the dog had to pee. And while that was happening, I was chatting with the neighbors, and then I completely forgot what I was doing. Had a couple beers in the backyard, and then I came in the house and took a nap. I was tired. I had 2 beers and a bunch of Harveys and a thick milkshake, and it put me to sleep. I got tired. And then I woke up and was like, oh, what was I doing? And it wasn't until like 9:30 that I came downstairs to look for something, and I saw the lights set up, and I was like, oh yeah, I was going to record a video. So here I am, sitting in that setup the next day. So I know I'm late with this. I'll try to keep this one brief, even though that was a long explanation. I'll try to keep it brief. So first off, if you're not watching Superman and Lois, you need to do yourself a big favor and go back and watch the episodes. If you fell off after season 5, because there was that break where Supergirl took over that time slot for a while, and you're like, yeah, I just don't really care. Seriously, you're missing some fantastic story here. The pacing is fantastic. The character development is fantastic. This is CW's best as far as I'm concerned. Right here. We're watching it. So go back, honestly, and watch these episodes so that you know what I'm talking about more with these videos. If you are watching, then you could probably attest to the fact that this is, again, CW's best as far as I'm concerned. This episode is no different than the rest of the season. There's a beefy amount of story, a beefy amount of revelations with questions to be asked. That's what you want in a show like this. You want there to be questions so that you're left going, okay, well, they revealed this. Now I understand a bit more about this. They have to give you a little bit. But with that giving, there's a price. They also have to give you a little bit more mystery. So while they're giving some answers for this, they're also giving questions here. That's what this show does consistently every episode, as well as build the characters up, make us care about the characters, understand the characters and their motivations more. This show does that fantastically. Episode 9, there are a few key points. One, we find out why Morgan Edge is focused so much on Smallville, and that's that, hey, guess what? When Superman crash landed here, a bunch of the ex-Kryptonite followed him, landed here, and so the people of Smallville have been around the radiation of this ex-Kryptonite for so long that they're the only people that Morgan Edge can use to graft Kryptonian consciousness into their bodies. That's kind of a thing. And also, they need to have the people who can take the physical endowment of the ex-Kryptonite, because ex-Kryptonite gives regular humans Kryptonian abilities. And Morgan Edge is right there trying to build this Kryptonian army. Because another big reveal is that we find out that Morgan Edge is not Morgan Edge. He's a Kryptonian who landed here 27 years ago, the same time that Kal-El did. Right? That's a big reveal. Now, just to back up, we shouldn't be super surprised that there's a big reveal, because Smallville frequently has twists in it. This show has its twists and turns where you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Like, oh wow, Captain Luthor is a black guy. Okay, Lex Luthor's a black guy in the CW universe. That's its own thing. The CW is known for doing its own thing. Oh wait, nope. Just because he's bald and black and is called Captain Luthor by the ship's AI means nothing, because it's actually John Henry. That's a big twist. Now we have John Henry in the CW, and he comes from a universe where there's another twist. And again, it's CW doing their own thing. He's married to Lois Lane. Whoa. So we should expect this kind of thing, these big kind of twists. So again, we have Morgan Edge not really being Morgan Edge. Morgan Edge is actually a Kryptonian. And his whole plan is to graft Kryptonian consciousness onto human beings to raise up an army of Kryptonians. The Kryptonians in here, and then physically they have the power of Kryptonians as well, all the superpowers. Although it is kind of strange, just as a side note, that Morgan Edge, who landed here when Superman did, so therefore wouldn't have even known about superpowers, until he got here and his started to manifest, right? He wouldn't have had any idea what they were, what superpowers were. So to then go, okay, well, the X-Kryptonite gives humans Kryptonian powers, and so I want to make this army of Kryptonians. I want to graft their minds onto these humans, and also we need them to have their powers. I don't know how he came to that understanding, how he came to know kind of all that. The show doesn't explain it. Sort of strange that would... I think it's just... You just take it for granted. That's like a thing that the show wanted to do. So that there can be an army of superpowered threats to the human race. Now, to move back into the present of the conversation, I didn't see that coming, that Morgan Edge would be a Kryptonian. I certainly had my questions as to whether he was a human that had also used the X-Kryptonite. But the fact that he's a Kryptonian totally blew me out of the water. Now, in the show, in the end, during the big reveal, Morgan Edge, all dressed in black as the main antagonist, in the same way that Superman was all dressed in black in John Henry's world. So we know, if there was any shadow of a doubt, that Superman was going to turn into the bad guy, which there shouldn't have been, because that would betray the entire show and the writing and the gold threads. We should know that Morgan Edge is occupying that space that the bad Superman did in that universe here as Morgan Edge. The black suits are symbolic that they are one and the same in that sense. All right, so Morgan Edge wearing this black suit, being the bad version, the bad Kryptonian here, raising up the army. Now we have, I would think, definite confirmation that Kal-El is not going to turn bad, which none of us really thought anyway, right? Now that leaves us with the question of how is Superman going to defeat this guy? Because clearly, I mean, he smacks Superman around like a wet rag doll in this one. Maybe he's more powerful. Maybe he's just more skilled at fighting, which leaves the question, who is this Kryptonian? We're given a key piece of information that could be valuable, or it could be a red herring. It could be something left to distract us, to make us talk and question, which it very well could have been. And that's that once the reveal has been made that he is indeed himself a Kryptonian, he calls Kal-El brother. Very specifically, brother. But the question is, does he call Kal-El brother because he's actually his brother? Which, that's option number one. Could very well be the case. The CW, as we've just discussed, does their own thing. They're very good at that. They created Jordan. So now there's Jordan and Jonathan, but Jordan doesn't exist anywhere in the comic books. It's only Jonathan. They created the very idea that John Henry and Lois would be together with a child, because I can't recall that being anywhere in the comic books. Superman and Lois and the whole CW is its own universe, and they're not afraid to do things their own way. They're not afraid to invent characters even. So this guy could be, option number one, a completely new invented character who may actually be the brother of Superman. Maybe. I tend to think not, because the symbol on his chest does not match. It's not a House of L symbol. So I would think, okay, well, that's number one. The number one reason why I don't think he's actually Superman's biological brother. Number two is that symbol. I don't know for sure. I should have spent more time looking at it and researching it. It might be the symbol for the House of Zod. At the very least, it's the symbol for a different house altogether. Now, option number two is the calling of Kal brother was symbolic. Not that he's actually his brother, which is option number one, but it could be symbolic. As in, like, I'm a Kryptonian, you're a Kryptonian, calls him brother. That could definitely well be a thing. Some people may even speculate that he could be Zod, General Zod. That might be a thing. I would tend to think he's probably not Zod, because Zod tends to be a lot more ruthless. And this guy is fairly ruthless, but I would still tend to think he's not Zod for a few other reasons. The biggest of which is that Zod has sworn to destroy the House of L. So why would he call Clark brother? I see that as an olive branch, a slight olive branch being extended. The idea that there's still time for you to join me before I destroy you, kind of thing. So called him brother. Number two, if he really is General Zod, he hates the House of L. He's sworn revenge upon the House of L, and I feel like he would have tried to destroy Superman, Kal-El, a long time ago. I feel like that would have been something that he did. He wouldn't have waited this long to reveal himself. So at this point, I really don't think that Morgan Edge is Zod. He could be. He could be. I don't know. It's the CW we're talking about here. But at this point, I'm leaning on the idea that maybe he's possibly another Kryptonian with power who just called him brother symbolically. Failing that, he could be Zod. Because the CW could have handled Zod differently, so he could be Zod. And then there is the final option, is he could be Hell. H, up in the air, apostrophe dash thingy, E-L, Hell. For those of you who don't know, the short explanation is he's a character in the DC universe in the New 52 who was a Kryptonian that was super uber powered. He was super powered. At one point he was a good guy, but then by the time he comes to Earth, he's all business. And for example, he really does not like the interbreeding. The mutt that is the cloned Superman, right? The Superboy clone in New 52. Really, to sum it all up, it takes the entire House of L to defeat this guy, and it is no simple task. This guy means business. But Hell is wearing the House of L symbol on his chest. It's burned into his chest, whereas this guy's not. So at this point, I'm not entirely sure who he is. If I had to pick an existing character, I would say Zod. Could be Zod. Other than that, could be a brand new character. Could actually be Superman's brother. Why doesn't he have the House of L symbol on his chest? Maybe he's actually Superman's brother, but he took upon him the symbol of Zod, the family Zod. I don't know. I'm not sure. At this point, we have to watch and wait and see. Super clever cliffhanger. Love it. I'm definitely watching tomorrow's episode. What do you guys think? Did you watch the show? Are you enjoying it? What did you think of the reveal of there being another Kryptonian on Earth? And the logical-ish reason for why Smallville has become the center. It's not just like, oh, we're going to use Smallville because that's the easiest thing to do. It actually, there's rationale behind it. When Superman came, a bunch of kryptonite followed him in his wake and landed on Earth too. So that just became the logical place for this stuff to happen. It just makes sense. But what do you think? That's all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.